So over the weekend, we had a terrorist attack in Bangladesh where Islamist militants killed 20 people, mostly foreigners, with machetes. And yesterday we learned where some of them became radicalized. Now, these were people who were in families of the Bangladeshi elite. They were the kids of Bangladeshi elite. So the idea that, oh, this was just simply oppression and this was extreme poverty that led to this, it's actually not true. And they targeted, I think it was 9 Italian nationals were killed. Well, Italy is not occupying Bangladesh, so it can't be a response to imperialism or something of that nature. This isn't necessarily about revenge or retribution. So what is it? A lot of people, what's going on here? What happened? Well, they became radicalized because they really did drink the Kool-Aid. Toxic Kool-Aid of Islamic fundamentalism. So there's a popular Salafi preacher from India named Zakir Naik, and apparently the attackers listened to him for years. So we have a clip of Zakir here. Let's watch.
So you as a Muslim saying that Osama bin Laden is right or wrong, have you checked up? Bombing in Nigeria, American consulate, Osama bin Laden, headlines. Did or not? We don't know. But if you ask my view, if he's on the truth, if he's fighting the enemies of Islam, I'm for him. I don't know what he's doing. I'm not in touch with him. I don't know him personally. I read newspapers. If he's terrorizing the terrorist, if he's terrorizing America, the terrorist, biggest terrorist, I'm with him. Every Muslim should be a terrorist. The thing is that if he's terrorizing a terrorist, he's following Islam. Whether he is or not, I don't know. But you as a Muslim, without checking up, laying allegations also wrong. So I am with those people who are following the Quran. Even if the full world is against them, I'm with them.
Quote, every Muslim should be a terrorist, he says. That's what he said. If he's terrorizing terrorists, America, well, I'm with him. Of course I'm with him. Even if everybody in the world's against him, I'm with him. Because if he's terrorizing the terrorists, America is justified. Quote, every Muslim should be a terrorist, he says. We're talking about innocent people. We're talking about men, women, and children who did not invade your land. We're talking about people who did not attack you. We're talking about civilians who did nothing to hurt you, who happened to be American. So that makes no sense. This isn't self-defense. This isn't a response to what happened to you. You're saying, Osama bin Laden, great, yeah, targeted American citizens who didn't do anything wrong, civilians, but it's great because they're the bad guy by definition. Tribalism 101, quote, every Muslim should be a terrorist, is what he said. So, this guy, get this, he has over 100,000 followers on Twitter, and about 250,000 YouTube subscribers. So if we just stop the conversation now, his audience is about the size of the SecularTalk audience. I have more YouTube subscribers, but he has more Twitter followers. But it gets worse. He's actually big on TV. And apparently, in Bangladesh, people get that TV channel that play him. And so they sit there and they listen to this, and like I just told you, the people who did this attack were the kids of the Bangladeshi elite. So they sit there and they're with all their free time and all their leisure because they're from the elite families, and they listen to this idiot all day long. And see, what happens is they ended up believing it. So yes, there's an ideological component. The overwhelming majority of this is ideological. It is the brainwashing. It is fundamentalist religion that is a cancer. It's a virus on the earth. Sometimes it's hard for normal people who live normal lives, rational people, to think, come on. They don't really believe that. That's what people think. No, but not everybody thinks like you do. Some people, if you feed them on a steady diet from when they're young of everybody else except you is evil, they believe it. So you have somebody who says, quote, every Muslim should be a terrorist, and he's got probably more followers than I do on SecularTalk. That's a scary, scary thought, man. It's basically, call it what it is. It's a thought virus is what it is. And by the way, this is not to say that in other instances with some forms of radicalization that there aren't other factors that come into play, like extreme poverty, like oppression and things of that nature. Of course, and in some cases, it's purely that leads to a response. But in some cases, that's not true. So you have this religion comes in all shapes and all sizes, but understand that it's not true. And that's why I think the atheists and liberals and secularists have the strongest argument. Because even if you use it for good, which I don't begrudge you that, I really don't. I think that's great. Still, at the end of the day, you're acting based off of Mother Goose. And that may sound harsh, but I don't really care about your feelings. I care more about being accurate and being right on this. And the bad versions of religion manifest like this, to the point where you have terrible, terrible leaders who speak for their version of the religion, and they say stuff like, yeah, every Muslim should be a terrorist. Or, you have, for example, the Planned Parenthood shooter in the U.S. who said, yeah, I'm doing it to save the babies. I'm doing it because I'm a Christian. He was on a steady diet of far right-wing preachers who preach hate. So, you have this people drinking the Kool-Aid in various different ways and then acting in accordance with that, because some people get duped and some people aren't that bright. And some people, when you tell them that from when they're a baby, it almost becomes the duh position. Like, what do you mean, duh? Of course I killed these fucking dirty foreigners that came to my land. I mean, why wouldn't I? Do you not know they're dirty foreigners? They're infidels. They're bad. Did you listen to Dr. Naik when he was saying these things? Are you not learning? What's wrong with you? Why are you not learning from what he's saying? That's how some people feel. And, it's the job of atheists to say, your religion is just not true. It's ridiculous. And if you believe it, it's silly. And it's the job of good people from within the religion to say, no, my interpretation is better. And my interpretation is about peace and humanity and modernity and acting right in 2016.